You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you've tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you've tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings.
Finally.
All right. For the 8 to 10 of you that just were like, what in the world is going on and why can we not hear them and why has it not started? Thanks for hanging out with us this morning. We decided to go live again from Small Town Coffee Roasters. So if you're coming in to get some coffee, we've got a stump for you right over there. Who knows? We don't know who's going to be joining us this morning, but appreciate your patience as we work through the technical difficulties of going remote.
And Wi-Fi.
Want to give a big shout out to Jackson, who is under the weather this morning. So obviously Mayor Dancy is taking care of Jackson today, not feeling too hot. So Jackson, buddy, we hope you have a really restful day and get back on your feet and have a good weekend. Speaking of a good weekend, there's some fun stuff going on tonight.
So much fun stuff going on in Rutherfordton. I'm just going to go ahead and plug it in super fast. We have our first movies in the park this evening in Kiwanis Park. The movie will start around dark. So what would we say?
Maybe
like
8 o'clock or so.
Yeah. But there's going to be some food trucks there. So if you want to come in for a dinner before the movie, we'll have Mighty Dogs and a Hawaiian icy truck. So lots of fun stuff happening in Rutherfordton tonight. Oh, RTR is doing the movie.
RTR is doing the movie. Rutherfordtown Rising's doing the movie and sponsoring that. So there'll be some fun stuff that they're doing. They've got some cutout boards and some information about RTR, different ways that you can get involved in what their mission is. And it's gonna be a fun night. Ferdinand is the movie, and we're really looking forward to it. It's gonna be a little bit of a it's going to be a little chilly out there today, but it's a fun night to just bring some blankets, hang out on the lawn, and just really enjoy, the movie for as long as you want to for the whole thing. It'll be a fun night. Kiwanis Park, the food trucks and stuff I think are going to start at 5 o'clock and be there till around 9 or so. Movie starts at 8, so you can bring your own stuff. Grab a pizza, grab something from Main Street Market, head on down. And just enjoy the park tonight. Again, the movies, kind of gather and start around 8 o'clock or so, or whenever it gets dark enough for us to make sure the screen is going to be, viewing.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time.
But we also have something fun going on for lunch today in Rutherfordton.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna be tossing out some fun stuff, right? a little slice of heaven. So Dobros is coming to town. So as many of y'all know, when Flyboy Pizza kind of split off, I guess if you can say, there was a front of the house, back of the house, so not getting into all that. But Dobros is, was part of the original Flyboy, and so they've now moved from a brick and mortar to a food truck. They've been frequenting, local vineyards. They've been over in Forest City a good bit. Reached out to us, and they're going to be in downtown Rutherfordton today. I think across from the courthouse.
Yep, at the hole.
At the hole,
or not the hole.
Not the hole. The hole, not the hole. The hole with a WHOLE.
Right.
However you want to look at it. They'll be there, I think, from 11 to 1.
11 to 2.
11 to 2. Oh, it got extended.
Even an extra hour to stop by.
And they got a new thing now. It's kind of like a calzone, but not a calzone. So you pick your pizza, then they roll it up, and then they deep fry it.
I'm sure it'll be good.
You could deep fry anything. It'd be better, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Dobros will be here 11 to 2, downtown Rutherfordton. Check them out. And they're going to be coming back for one of our movie nights later this year, right?
Actually, the next one on May 20th.
Ooh, good. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Can't go wrong with pizza and movies.
Absolutely not.
Maybe throw a little popcorn in there or some ice cream. Have you heard anything about ice cream at movies?
We may have some. Because Local Scoops is going to be at every other one, I think.
I think so. They're getting geared up with some really cool ways to dish out some ice cream to y'all. So be on the lookout for that. All right. So we wanted to kind of give a rundown of the council meeting too. So we had a really long council meeting earlier this week, but we have got a lot of great stuff going on here in town. So if you didn't get a chance to watch that council meeting, I want to hit a few highlights. And in the middle, Magnolia maybe can tell us why I'm wearing an isothermal right. shirt. We were going to come to you live from there, but felt like this was a better idea. So had a good number of presentations on our council agenda. I want to give a shout out to Lieutenant Joey Holland, who got his LEAP certification which is the Law Enforcement Executive Program. So it's about a 160-hour program for law enforcement executives at NC State. We did an update to our Parks and Recreation Master Plan, which showcased some improvements. We kind of focused in on the improvements that we're proposing to make at the Norris Recreation Complex or the former golf course site, but also some, showcasing the improvements we've already made at Kiwanis Park, improvements that are slated for this year at 2nd Street Park, improvements along the Greenway, and then just general maintenance and improvements at Crestview Park. So kind of looking at a system-wide approach for our update. We did that in 2018. This is the 5th year of what we thought to be about a 10-year plan. And we've done so much in that rec plan, we feel like it might even be time for us to, revisit it again in this 5th year. So it's exciting. And then we're starting to kind of roll into our budget season for the upcoming budget. So back in March, I'll start in January when we took your comments. We presented those to the town council in January for our first kind of budget planning session. We did that again in March, and there were 2 really large capital items for the town that kind of came out of that. One being a mini pumper for our fire department, and then also a new leaf truck for our public works department. And the lead times and manufacturing times on those are much longer than a lot of things. And so even though there'll be impacts in our upcoming budget cycle starting in July, we needed to go ahead and make some ordering now so that we can get those at the appropriate times. Nobody wants to get a leaf machine in January for leaf service that starts in September. So we went ahead and made those orders. So council approved the purchase of a new leaf vacuum truck and a mini pumper. And that mini pumper initially will probably be at Station 1, but the plan and the vision is for that pumper to be out at Station 2.
That's so exciting. Yeah. Like all of this has been going on for so long, and we're finally being able to make those decisions to actually make it into a reality. And
the mini pumper, both of y'all know that Magnolia and I are firefighters too, so that's close to our heart. But it's not quite a big, fire engine like you would see our fire department bring an engine. It's built on a Ford F550 chassis. But it has all the capabilities from a water flow perspective as a big engine. It can flow 1,250 gallons a minute, has a 500-gallon water tank, has all the tools and equipment just like a big truck, but it's not the same weight. And
so you're saying I can drive it?
You can. It's 4-wheel drive. And so it doesn't weigh, 60,000, 80,000 pounds like a normal fire engine. It's down in that 20 to 30,000 pound range, which is really critical because in our rural district where Station 2 covers, we have a lot of long driveways. We have a lot of narrow driveways. We have a lot of bridges, especially along like Maple Creek, along the Broad River, where we actually have homes that are built, their driveways, private bridges that go across. And I noticed it's either yesterday or the day before that Broad River Fire Department, which is a fire department up in Henderson County, they had a vehicle fire that was right next to a structure across a private bridge, and they drove one of their tanker trucks over to put the fire out, and the private bridge collapsed with their truck on it. So it kind of goes to show the innovation of our fire department to make sure we're providing a vehicle that can access all areas of that rural district. So really excited about that.
Was everybody okay?
Everybody was okay.
Okay,
it was okay. I didn't follow up. The truck looked pretty twisted. It looked like the frame twisted pretty bad. But yeah, I mean, these are real life scenarios right here in Rutherford's fire district that this truck now gives us the ability to respond to those type of calls. And then we have been working with DOT and the town of Spindale on a RAISE grant, which is a federal grant for Charlotte Road to improve Charlotte Road from Maple Street. All in it transitions obviously to East Main and Spindale, but East Main Street and Spindale all the way to Oakland Road to do a road diet, new aesthetics, new safety improvements, pedestrian improvements, multi-use path, and really kind of change the transit, change the entrance into both of our communities and tie us together, tie the Purple Martin to the Thermal Belt Rail Trail with a multi-use path. So really fun stuff. But DOT has been working on some improvements to the intersection of, see if I can get this right, Railroad Avenue, College Avenue, East Main, and Charlotte Road.
Yep.
So you got 4 lanes, all different names. And one of the ideas was to actually put a roundabout in there. And so DOT is seeking some funding to do that. And so the council looked at those plans and endorsed that roundabout moving forward. So those are all on the town's website underneath our minutes or our agenda section. I encourage you to look at those. And so we've got 2 other things I want to hit on the council agenda, just because I know folks are going to be curious about. But do you want to take a break and just kind of talk to us about why I've got on an isothermal shirt today?
Sure. So you may not know, but today is the Science Expo over at ICC. So I think it's like almost every 7th grader in the county actually travels to ICC, and they get to see.
Well, I have a 6th grader, and I don't know how she got involved, but she's not happy that I'm going to be there.
Ashton's gonna be there?
She's gonna be there.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, so they basically go over to ICC just to learn more about the opportunities that ICC has. And gosh, I wish that I was here whenever I was that age, just to be able to come and learn about how much the community in ICC has to offer. But we are going to be over there to kind of promote our movie nights and everything. So maybe some parents are like, oh yeah, I don't know if my kid would be interested, but we're going to go directly to the kids and say, you should come, you should drag your parents out.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah.
And we'll be giving out, so if your kids are going, we're going to be giving out movie tickets. On the front side, the movie ticket's got obviously tonight's ticket. If you flip it over, it's got the full series of stuff on it. So throw it on the fridge. If you can't make tonight at Ferdinand, I think the next one is Hidden Figures, then maybe Rio and
the Sandlot.
Oh, the Sandlot. That's what we're doing.
I know.
Yep.
And then I know that we have The Secret Life of Walter Mitty and The Greatest Showman, I think, is our the wrap-up movie. So it's a whole calendar of events, and we're so excited to have those movies in the park again this year. And hopefully we'll get through the whole season. Yeah.
And then the fire department is actually going to be over at the Science Expo. And, of course, we're trying to look at ways to, increase our ability to recruit, retain, and showcase, that there are a lot of great opportunities in the public sector between public safety, public services, police, fire, our library, our community development, that there are a lot of great career paths in local government. And you maybe not think too much around science when it comes to fire, but of course that's really all it is. It's really a big chemistry and hydrology class.
Yeah.
And a lot of math. There is a lot of math involved with pump operations, And then obviously the science of putting out fires and the hazardous materials calls, and then, you know, what type of opportunity or what type of method you would use to put out certain different fires. And so the fire department's going to be there showcasing the part of their science to our youth. So I'm really excited about that.
I mean, like I was in the fire academy at ICC for the past year and a half, really. And there's just so much that goes into firefighting that you would have never expected. So it's awesome that the fire department's going to be there to be able to kind of explain all of that.
Yeah.
So
speaking of fires, jumping back over to the agenda, there was a fire here in town that probably a lot of you have seen. If you've come downtown, if you've been walking on the Purple Martin Greenway. Hey, Brandy, I don't know if the comments are popping up, but showing comments this morning. With us being live here in a small town, Brandy was just in for a cup, so good to see you this morning too, Brandy. But yeah, there was a fire here in town right over on North Cleghorn Street, so directly along the Purple Martin Greenway, right as you come into kind of the heart of town on Cleghorn. Near the post office on Court Street. So it's very visible, catastrophic damage to that home. And the property owner has donated that. They had requested to donate the property to the town of Rutherfordton. And so the council reviewed that donation and accepted that, and is going to use some grant funds that we have to remove the structure, use it for green space for now, and it'll be part of our urban redevelopment area plan. And so there's a multitude of options that could be done with the property, or it just remain green space. But the good news is, for those that have seen it, I thought maybe I wish they would do something with that. The property owner has been very receptive. We appreciate her donation of the property to the town, and we appreciate the town council's vision of saying, hey, we need to get that structure out of there, get some green space going along Cleghorn Creek, and then look at for a future vision of what that property could be for our urban redevelopment plan. How's that going, by the way?
It's going pretty good. We actually launched the community housing survey. So we wanted to take within the urban redevelopment area, we wanted to kind of know how, or like the individual housing needs of each family's house, really. So we had hardly made it public by reaching out to all of those renters or property owners within that area. But oh my gosh, Desiree actually emailed me yesterday, and she's like, we haven't even mailed anything, and there's responses coming in. So it's really exciting. So that's kind of the next step, just getting that feedback. I don't want to say feedback back, but that feedback, and then we'll take that from there and kind of have our redevelopment commission look at that data and then start thinking about what is the decisions that we can make to help those individual property owners or renters, to how can we make this area even better for our town.
Yeah. So those surveys are really kind of targeted to the folks that are living inside those redevelopment areas. Now, it's not to say that that's the only people we want opinions from. I mean, if you can fill the survey out if you live in Rutherfordton. We just ask that, one of the questions says, hey, do you live in that community or not? It's not that your voice is less discounted if you don't live there, but when we look at how we put together a plan that really impacts the people that are living in that community, we want to take their voice at a little bit higher level. And there's some grant funding available in that redevelopment area that can allow us to do that. So you may not see it plastered all over our social media. We're doing some direct mailing. We're doing some door-to-door stuff. It's available at different areas in town. And so if you do get your hands on one, we'd love to get your feedback. But we want to mention that if you know that you live in one of those redevelopment areas, to do that. And we've got 2 public meetings coming up for those too, right?
So we do. So April 19th, we'll be in the New Hope area. We're going to be set up at St. John's AME Zion in the sanctuary.
Awesome.
And then on April 20th, we'll be over at Mountain View Baptist Church.
And that's the one on East 2nd Street, not the one on 221 South.
Right.
All right. And then lastly, and probably most notably, I would say, from just conversation in town, is the town council voted Wednesday night to move forward with the demolition of 217 North Main Street, which is formerly known, or probably more appropriately known in the community, as the Legal Grounds Building. And so that's been a project, or really a nuisance, I guess we could say, that's turned into a project over the last 4 or 5 years. The town has really kind of evaluated what to do there. There's been the name Legal Grounds has kind of turned into really a legal struggle for the town to kind of really intervene. The goal was to try to save the building for the longest time, and the longer it sat unattended, sat in a dilapidated state, it just continued to really have demolition by neglect. And so even with the town's best efforts to kind of intervene, when we didn't have any results out of the owners, any results out of the banks, or the courts that were kind of dictating that through bankruptcies, it made it very challenging for the town to intervene. So nonetheless, the town does have a consent judgment from local courts to intervene on the public nuisance that's there because of the impending collapse of the wall on East 2nd Street, where we've had that road closed for quite some time now. And as we evaluated, the decisions with engineers, evaluated the decisions with those in the construction field and the demolition field, in the restoration field, it just, with the amount of mold damage, the amount of asbestos that's there that needs to be removed, the structural issues with those walls, the foundation issues, they just all began to kind of pile up to really kind of showcase that the demolition by neglect was really what was going on there. And so, unfortunately, even though that is kind of a stalwart building in our community, it looks as if that it's an end of that era and the beginning of a new era. And so the council did vote to move forward with that. Once we get more details around, when the building's going to be coming down, we'll be showing that to everybody. And then, we are going to be trying to save as much of the building as possible. So the granite lintels, the front door, things that really kind of had an impactful piece to the building, such that when the time comes, if a new building could be built there, then we can integrate those parts of that building into a new structure. So really excited about that part of it, is, being able to save some things, preserve some of our past, preserve our history, but how do we move that forward into the next century for Main Street?
Right. And I have to say, like, I wasn't here whenever Legal Grounds was open, but it wasn't an easy decision for council to make. on here.
Okay, here we are. Okay. All right, we have totally learned our lesson on going remote, and so yeah, well, now we're on Magnolia's cell phone through StreamYard. So thank y'all for bearing with us this morning. We'll be back in the office in the studio, I guess.
Yes, next week. Good Lord.
But yeah, just to kind of wrap up the conversation with the legal grounds building, appreciate the comments that we saw coming in. It is sad to see that building go. It totally is. I mean, if I could surmise the town council's comments, for the last four, probably 5 years, it was, how do we save the building? How do we move forward? How do we get historic tax credits? And all that really began to erode as the building continued to deteriorate. And so we did a great article. We did a big article on it. And it's on our website. It was in the Rutherford Sun. Yeah. It's on the website under our kind of our news section. A lot of good information about kind of how that whole story's transpired. But yeah, definitely sad. But optimistic for what the next century on that corner can be. Gives us an ability for a community to kind of vision what the next century of Rutherford could be. So really excited about that. Yeah. So thank y'all for bearing with us this morning. We know that it's been a little bit of time, but we are getting ready to wrap up here and head over to Isothermal Community College. Yep. Thank them for allowing RTR, Rutherford Fire Department, being a part of their Science Expo Day. And just excited to continue to bring these to you moving forward. With that, next week we will be back in the office. We hope you all have a great weekend. If you're just humping in now, remember we got movie night that starts tonight at Kiwanis Park. The food trucks and vendors will be there starting around 5. Movie's going to kick off around dusk. Give or take 8 o'clock. That plus or minus 15-minute window either side of 8. But bring some blankets, bring your lawn chairs, dress warm, come out and have some fun for Ferdinand. Absolutely. And don't forget that Dobro's is going to be in Rutherfordton, downtown Rutherfordton at the Hole or 220 North Main Street. Yeah. Magnolia and I accepting pie donations. Pie donations? Yeah, pizza pies. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. We'll be in Town Hall. But definitely stop by and see them. Again, sorry for the technical difficulties, but thank y'all so much for hanging in there with us. Have a great Friday, everybody. Bye.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you